swept in, carrying with it wind and rain, and a little bird who had just left the nest. It had only just begun learning how to fly, its wings still fragile, its skills unrefined. The wind howled, dark clouds filled the sky, and the baby bird was blown far from the safety of its familiar home. In this strange land, high in the open sky, it was alone and afraid. But instead of giving up, the little bird kept trying. Even though every attempt to take off ended in a fall, even though fear grew heavier inside its heart, it kept flapping its wings. It kept hoping. No one was there to catch it. No voice called it home. There was only itself, and a quiet persistence that refused to quit. From afar, an old bird watched the scene unfold. Beside him stood a companion, also observing. The elder bird spoke softly with a tone of surprise and admiration. "Look, that little bird still hasn't given up. There's something special inside it. Something not everyone possesses, a will that doesn't back down." And that story was only just beginning. Seeing two large birds flying closer, the little bird trembled, yet still politely lifted its head and asked, "I'm lost, and I don't know how to fly very well yet. Could you help me find my way back to the nest?" Instead of showing sympathy or offering comfort, the older bird smirked with sarcasm. "If you don't know how to fly, why did you leave the nest in the first place?" The laughter was soft but sharp enough to sting the little bird's heart. The older bird's companion chuckled too, leaving a shadow of sadness in the young bird's eyes. But instead of arguing or complaining, the little bird chose silence. It watched, carefully. It studied the way the big birds spread their wings, how they tilted their bodies, how they caught the wind. Every movement, every flap of their wings was engraved in its memory. The little bird didn't learn through words, but through focused eyes and a heart that refused to give up. Meanwhile, the old bird kept flying up, then circling back, each time tossing out a mocking comment. "You're still here? Haven't fallen again yet?" But then, on one of his return loops, he was startled. The little bird was no longer there. The little bird had disappeared. The sky seemed to pause in a moment of silence. The old bird looked around in confusion, then softly asked, "Did it fly?" His companion gave a gentle nod, eyes still following the sky where the young bird had just soared. "Yes, and this time it didn't fall." There was a brief silence. Then the companion asked, "Are you smiling? But didn't you mock it? Why smile now?" The old bird gazed up at the vast blue sky, his eyes calm and thoughtful. "Because it didn't listen to my words, it watched my wings. It didn't need me to carry it. It needed a challenge. If I had helped it kindly, perhaps it would have depended on me. But now, it believes in itself. And that is true strength." He paused for a moment, then continued slowly and meaningfully. "Sometimes the best way to help isn't to lift someone up, but to give them the space to rise on their own. Like fire, it only blazes when touched by challenge. The strength within each being is not something given, but something awakened." The companion said nothing more. He had just witnessed something profoundly moving. A journey that didn't begin with help, but with belief and the courage to face challenge. True strength is not something that can be handed over or passed from one to another. It doesn't lie in gentle advice, nor does it come from complete assistance. Strength is the quiet flame within each of us, waiting for a strong enough wind, a challenge great enough to ignite it. The little bird was not carried. No one lifted it through the vast sky. But because of that, it discovered its true wings. And that changed everything. Hardships, mockery, and falls, they are not barriers. They are the fires that test gold, the trials that awaken courage and forgotten resilience. Only when we dare to face our fears do we discover how strong we truly are. Only when we learn to fly on our own do we realize our wings were never weak. We just hadn't trusted them yet. And that is the true meaning of help, not carrying someone through the storm, but giving them the belief to rise above it on their own. Remember this, every great journey begins with one brave leap beyond your comfort zone. You have wings too, just like that little bird, and the strength you've been searching for has always been within you. If the little bird's story touched your heart, don't let it stop at just a feeling. Take a moment to think about yourself, the times when you felt lost, weak, or like you barely had the strength to go on. Have you ever been like that little bird? Caught in the storm of life, struggling to find your way, holding on only to a fragile thread of faith in yourself? And yet, You're still here. You've fallen, but you got back up. You've wanted to give up, but chose to keep going. And that alone is proof that within you too lies an extraordinary strength waiting to be awakened. If this story made you see a part of yourself in it, don't keep that feeling to yourself, because somewhere out there, someone might need a spark of hope, a reminder that they are not alone. Let stories like this shine a light, not to teach someone how to fly, but to remind them they already have wings. And if you believe in the power of sharing, don't hesitate to send this story to a friend, a loved one, or anyone who might need a little light in their life right now. Because sometimes a simple story can awaken an entire soul. Each of us has a story. Maybe it's about the days we felt lost in the chaos of life. Maybe it's about a moment when we thought we had fallen for good, but still stood up, even with just a fragile bit of courage. If you've ever experienced that, then you are the little bird in this story. You are not weak. You are simply learning how to fly. And it is in those hardest falls that you've become your strongest, even if you didn't realize it. Let this story be a small flame that lights up your heart and lights the hearts of others too. If you've ever made it through a storm in your life, share that story. Because your honest words may be the light someone else needs in their darkest night. Be someone who spreads inspiration. Be someone who reminds others you can fly, even if you've fallen before. If you found meaning in this message, don't keep it to yourself. Send it to someone who needs it, a friend, a loved one, or even a stranger. Because sometimes just one story can change a life. And if you want to keep walking this journey of stories and strength, don't forget to hit follow. Together we will soar, powered by the strength within. A little bird was swept far from its nest by a storm, just as it had begun to learn how to fly. Frightened and lost, it didn't give up. No matter how many times it fell, it kept trying to take off. From afar, an old bird watched. As he flew closer, he mocked, "If you can't fly yet, why did you leave the nest?" The little bird didn't respond. Instead, it quietly observed, watching the way the old bird used his wings, how he caught the wind. Despite the ridicule, the little bird kept learning. And then, in a quiet moment, it flew, steady and no longer falling. The old bird smiled. "I didn't help it with advice. I helped it through challenge. It didn't rely on me. It believed in itself." True strength doesn't come from others. It has always been within you, just waiting to be awakened. Every time you face your fears, you're learning how to fly. Believe in your wings, because you can soar farther than you ever imagined.